Welcome, folks, to Killarney Raceway, and it's round 3 of the much-anticipated Power Series. The bikes are out at the moment. The cars are on their way, and we've got a bunch of pages here with a bunch of names on of drivers and riders that you out there want to hear about. Dexter Bruce is the man next to me over here. Dexter, what are you looking forward to today, and what can we expect going into this Power Series round 3?
I'm so glad to be back. Firstly, it's so nice to be back here after the big boys from Joburg here not too long ago. The locals are out today. The weather is amazing. There's a couple of new sponsors on board. What I'm really looking forward to, obviously, is the Clubman guys. Yeah. They're not too long before they're going to be doing their qualifying session. But before we get there, let's get back to the motorbikes. They're on Malcolm Rapsum, Hilton Redling guys. They're out now. They're busy qualifying.
Yes.
Doing some really good times. The track, I believe, is quite good. It's quite dry. There's a couple of spaces where it's still a little bit cold down the back, they were saying. The air is a little bit cold, so that's good for the turbo cars.
There has been a change, though, today with the bikes qualifying this morning, the cars qualifying yesterday. So there's going to be a bit of a change. The racing starts very shortly, but Malcolm Rapson at the moment out there in his Suzuki GSXR 1000 leading the way. But yeah, Dexter, the weather, it's going to be hot today, but it's cool right now. We're going to have to wait and see how that plays out. But speaking of cool, there's a bit of a cool new sponsor that's jumped on board. Smile 90.4. Yes. A new sponsor's joining us today for the first time, so welcome to Smile. And be sure to listen to Smile during the day if you're not listening to us or the commentators. And listen out for some updates on what's happening here at Killarney Raceway.
And of course, Ticketmaster's on board as well now. So if you want to get your tickets for Killarney, so if you get your tickets today, you're going to be paying 60 Rand a ticket. Wow. Our Ticketmaster, as opposed to 80 Rand at the gate.
Okay.
So you can kind of save a little bit here coming to the track. Obviously, if you don't want to go to Ticketmaster, you're most welcome to come to the gate, pay 80 bucks. But back to the racing we go, Ernie.
Kenwin Snyman takes pole position now in the CBR 1000, the Missile Motorcycles bike there. Kenwin Snyman gets that first place there. Alex van der Berg in third place. Slade van Niekerk down in 6th position, and he's in a different class, of course. But Slade leading off what looks like the MC600s at the moment. Jason Lineker just behind him.
That's in the Project 6060 bike, of course. But heading back to the cars, I mean, we got the Lauda Classics. I'm going to go ahead and start on the Lauda Classics over here. We can't miss the beautiful Mark 1 Escort of Franco Donadio. Oh, yes. He's going to be going out. I see your eye caught something.
Oh, Gunther Appelgreens. Gunther Appelgreens, very green BMW 325i. That's, of course, fine cars, but there's so many cars here. Please continue, Lauda. See Franco Donadeo.
Franco Donadeo in the Mark 1 Escort, challenging hard, of course, is Michael Hitchcock in that Ford Mustang. The two of them, it's kind of like the old good revival history, where you have the minis versus the big Ford Galaxy Fairlane. We've got the same thing going
That's exactly it, and this is what it's all about, is having, in classics specifically, having a car that's exceptionally powerful and fast down the straight versus a car that's very good in the corners, and that's the Titan battles we expect to see today in the classic car races.
And then off all the way down, we've got Trevor Hutchins and Lane Hutchins. Those are father and son trio in the HSC racing. I mean, we know them very well. We race against them in the rally
HSC, interestingly, 3 bikes and 2 cars entered today. 5 modes of transport entered today for HSC, as you said earlier on.
It's a whole house. It's so nice that a family's coming out racing. You got cousins, you got uncles, you got a grandfather. It's so nice to see that. So that's the Lauda Classic cars. They're going to be awesome to see a little bit later. Ernie, do you want to go do the Bejo?
Oh, Bejo Trustees, fine cars. Natasha Tischendorf in that Jetta over there. You'll see her. She's in the Lambert racing car. Arnold Lambert, Jaco Lambert also. I think Arnold might be a little bit under the weather at the moment, so Jaco Lambert will be racing in his place.
Stepping up, Jaco's going to be driving his father's car there.
Gunther Appelgren, my personal favorite car here today, that green E36. You can't miss it. And then we've got Robert Toscano in MX-5, Joanne Ferrie in a Golf Mark II. So not the biggest field in Trustees fine cars at the moment, but they are in a combined field, Dexter.
So they're combining with the supercars. But just to geek out a little bit, I mean, I believe you were chatting to Gunther a little bit earlier. What does it take to drive a classic car, a Bejo Trustees class fine car?
Bejo fine cars is one of the most accessible racing series you can get. You can pretty much run with anything. You do need a full cage. You've got to have seats at the back. No fiberglass panel, so it keeps it nice and tight. So the cars are very much standard. And if you have a look at his car, it's pretty much a standard car with a roll cage. A couple of modifications here and there that you can do, but it's an easy way to get into motorsport if you've got a neat, reliable car at home already. Cage change it up, make some minor racing changes, and you could be joining the guys on the start line.
And it's also not as aggressive as Clubman's, for example, where the cars are completely composite body cars. The racing is close, but of course they don't take each other out like they do in Clubman's, you know.
Well, speaking of taking each other out, GTI Challenge.
Come on.
I've got the entry list over here, and it is looking good. 23 cars entered today. Of course, it is the middle of the fast, so the series are affected by that at the moment. The guys are parked on the other side in the new pits today, not in the old pits. If you are coming to the circuit, you want to go visit the GTI Challenge guys, they're in over there at the Joubert pits. But yes, we've got a full Class A setup over here with Yuri Umpiswat in the mix in the Bullion IT car. Charles Visser in there as well, Nathan Victor, Skull Caldenes, the usual Dylan Joubert as well, Clinton Besaidano. These guys are all very fast. And I suspect Class A once again is going to be a ding-dong battle. And remember, they change the rules now, reverse grid on depending on the first race.
That does make a big difference. I had a bit of a chat to Ian Cap as well. His car is back. Unfortunately, last race meeting, he unfortunately just did 1 or 2 laps. Was involved in an accident and he had to rebuild his car. Car's fleshy rebuild, ready to go. He's in Class A. Charles Visser, very competitive driver from Charles Engineering. I think they're going to be a top contender up there.
Oh, big time.
They did a bit of qualifying yesterday and a bit of practicing. Very, very, very reliable car. On the pace, on the money. And of course, they've got that little button that says push to pass.
Oh, yes.
That does help.
So Charles Visser, we saw the last time, of course, using that push to pass in Polo Cup the last time.
Yeah.
And Charles Visser did very, very well in Polo Cup, getting podiums all day long. And this time, I'm thinking he's going to be hoping for more than a podium because I know they want to win. Class B, of course, Zaki Hendricks is back. Kyle Visser, Charles' brother, in there. And of course, Brent van der Skyf in the mix as well. Zaki Hendricks, my favorite going into Class G today.
Top contender, I can't say no to that. Top contender, there's Zaki Hendricks. Look out for him in the yellow car.
This man's back today as well.
Clint Renard, he's back as well.
Yeah, we're talking about Clubman's. We just jumped to Clubman's, but Clint's standing over here. He's back today, racing in Clubman's again. How's it, Clint?
Nice to see Clint back.
Back to Class C.
Yeah, Class C is where it's at. I mean, last Class C meeting, I don't know if you remember, there was a nice accident on the main straight, Lamy.
A big one.
Lamy's busy rebuilding his car. So the Class C is the pack. They're always going to give us a good race.
Yeah.
We've got, of course, Faisal Jacobs, our favorite man on the ground, Dylan van Eden.
But look at some new names, new old names back on the grid. Dylan van Eden's back now. Daniel Munna got his car back. Razik Harris, after all those different series that he's entered in, he always comes back to GTI Challenge. So watch out for Razik Harris, Noor Abbas, and Amar Kutsia as well. The Kutsia family, of course, very, very involved in motorsport.
Kutsia.
Yeah,
definitely the aim in plumbing car. So yeah, Class C I think is going to be a good battle.
I think so. I think so. GTI Challenge overall, they got some new rules, so watch them start together, watch them shuffle the grid up with the restart. But Dan, I called you Dan, I'm other commentator. But Dexter, we know what you want to talk about.
Yeah.
You want to talk about Clubman's.
Tin Top's where it's at. I love my Tin Top racing. I've been involved in it for years. I love this. This is where it's at. Clint Renard, you just mentioned Class A. That GNA Motorsport Mark
winning car.
Oh, that car is absolutely awesome. Actual aero bolt on that car. Fantastic car. Steven Heinrich in that Nissan Skyline 2.8 R33 Skyline. What a fantastic car.
That car has, we got Tarmac Terrorist over here wants to come say hi. That, of course, is Mr. Long over there wanting to come say hi. People always walk up to them, they see the camera on, then they leave. We don't mind you guys coming to say hello. There he goes. But Dexter, back to Clubman's, it's one of my favorite series to watch.
Absolutely. Jesse Huggett, ever present Jesse. He's been around these corridors for many a year.
Yeah.
That Mark II Jetta of he's very reliable. Yeah. Rico Barlow Racing and Phil West. And of course, back in the 100 car, Cody Alberts.
Oh, Cody's back, baby.
So nice to see
Cody's back. And Cody has done some work on that car. I don't think we're allowed to say this, by the way. Yeah. But we know that they've done some head work on that car to get the power up on that car, get it back to its reliable state. They've been working on that car. Him and the wifey have been working on that car for a long time. Yep. And now Cody Alberts is back, another potential winner. So we've got a few potential winners right on top there. Jesse Huggett, Cody Alberts, Steven and Clint, all the Class A guys potentially could win that race.
And it's so good.
Yeah, so that's going to be competitive.
Class B, of course, Daniel Kutsi, you just mentioned one of his other cars that are in the challenge as well. Eamon Plumbing car. Paul Munich in that ever-present Munich Performance Audi VW Clinic. That gold car, you cannot miss that car.
Can't miss it.
That's the Class B cars. Class C is very challenging. JP Shea, of course, they've BMW E36.
Our champion, yeah.
Benson and Hedges colors, looking so good.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Eugene Gaspol in the silver E46 has stepped up quite a bit, starting in Class F, moving his way gradually. Definitely, I think those incremental racing things that we spoke about.
It makes a difference.
It does make a difference.
It makes a difference. The guys are working their way up the grid. And, of course, Clubman's a system where it's bracket racing. You're in a certain time bracket. You break out and then you jump up a class. And all these guys have started at Class X and worked their way up. And now we're starting to see more names bubbling to the top. Another name that's bubbled to the top, Kiara van Niekerk, previous champion from last year, now up one class, back in the game again in that Wingfield Motors car, which I'm sure we'll be seeing a lot more of.
Definitely. And then, of course, at the back of the grid, Lee Fielding in his BMW E36. We've got a Chrysler 300C. It was a nice car to see out there. Basie
Interesting
Burger.
car. Basie Burger's, he told Dad to step aside now and relax by the huis. Cedric will now relax by the huis. And Cedric, if you're on the live stream, how's it? But they're driving your car again today. They're driving your car again today.
Basie can pedal. Basie knows how to pedal.
In the wet the other day, fantastic performance from Basie at the last race in the wet. So watch out for that green and white
Ital Oven.
The Ital Oven car.
It's a beautiful looking car.
Beautiful car.
Well prepared car.
Well prepared. So we can watch out for that one. I think there's going to be some action there.
At the bottom, Craig Rapp in a 328 BMW that with the flags on it looks really good. Ever the Toy Ford Falcon Engineering.
Oh yes, and there's a new name, Adam Omar, brand new in Clubman's. Watch out for him. He's got a rich history in indoor karting. Okay. Having won multiple, the time attack, he always does well in indoor karting, right up there, has shown talent. And we've seen many guys come from karting, whether it's indoor or outdoor over here. I think the indoor karting doesn't always get the credence it deserves. And Adam Omar is going to be one of those guys we're going to watch out for to see how he does. But a series that's back this week is, and we've got a few minutes left now before the racing starts, is the Pirelli V8 Masters. And they are back in action today with Sean Moore, Marcel Angel, Fabio Tefani, Jason Ibbotson, Mark Ridgway, and the rest of the names all out on that list. They've got two classes today, the gold and the silver class. So watch out for them, but they're all driving the same cars. It's going to be very interesting, and they've had their elbows out recently.
For me, it's one of the forms of racing that I actually like, is because everybody's got the same car.
Yes.
Everybody's got the same tire, so the racing is very competitive, and to be honest, these guys don't really care.
They don't care.
They don't care. So they send it.
They send it on. They send it on. It's like rallycross out there. But the thing is, they've got strict rules about sending it, Dexter. They're technically not supposed to send it too hard around the first corner.
But I mean, these oaks don't take no for an answer, and they don't like second place.
They don't like second place, and that's exactly why the V8 Masters is one of those must-see races. Because let's be honest, we come to the circuit not just to see racing, but to also see action, if you know what I mean.
If you had enough bread, would you be doing that?
Oh, yes.
I know.
Oh, yes.
I would be there.
The over 40s. So the Pirelli V8 Masters, the big boys out there in force, and I think Marcel Angel definitely, Sean Moore, Mark Ridgway, watch out for those guys.
Absolutely.
And of course, as I mentioned, they've got their silver class as well, Stuart, Spooner, and Mark out there as well. The racing today, though, starts very shortly. We're going to be starting the racing at 8:45 today. Officially, it's 8:30 now, so we've still got about 15 minutes to go before the Caltron Formula Supercars goes out. They joined by the Bejo Trustees Fine Cars. They're going out together, the Supercars and the Fine Cars. And just to, we haven't really spoken about Supercars much, but to give you guys a clue of what Supercars is, it's the old Opel formula that was built by Owen Ashley back in the day. And now they've got those 2-liter engines under the bonnet there with those Opel motors and Opel bodies.
And I believe they're quite difficult cars to get a hold of. They're quite difficult cars to drive. Yeah, they're running on a 2-liter 8-valve engine, as you know. Supercar head, little bit of cam work done to the car, but the body and the whole chassis is this makes a difference, about 700 to 600 kilograms.
It's light,
it's light. It's
very light.
Extremely light.
Very,
light on tires as well.
Very light.
So very twitchy car.
Yeah, and then after that, we go straight into the bike. So just after that will be the bike races. We got the Bridgestone STC 650s and SSP 300s, followed by the Triumph Motorcycle Superbikes, SBK Challenge Masters, and 600s. More bikes after that with the Suzuki South Motorcycles Clubman, SB and Breakfast Run motorcycles, and then the GTR Challenge boys come out.
Let me just get you in there. Sharif Reynolds is back. It's nice to see the old guy back again.
After such a good performance at the previous race.
He had a good first round, I think. He missed out the second one. This is round 3. He's back again. I think he was away. He's, of course, with the Ducati 996, a classic bike. He's, of course, racing against Dani van Kilani.
Oh,
In the GoDaddy bike.
yeah. I gotta say, for the guys that have come here today that are fasting, I see a lot of guys coming here today that are fasting. You know, commendable effort from those guys. It's not easy out there
Absolutely.
for Muslim brothers to be fasting and performing on a day like today. I mean, our good friend Faisal Jacobs here today as well. So our thoughts go out to those guys. Keep those chins up. It's one day. Hopefully they make it through the day with success.
Sure.
And tonight they can enjoy the feasts.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the fruits of their labors tonight.
Absolutely. And we were just having a bit of a chat coming in a little bit earlier about the classic, the nostalgia form of motorsport. There's a big rise, I think, in nostalgia, bringing back those old cars of yesteryear, of the 80s, the old Westbank V8s, the old Group N cars.
Oh, speaking of the Westbank V8, we just saw one parked over there now in the Lambert garage. The Lambert garage, if you've never been to Killarney and you walk past the very first garage at the start of the pits here, go check out the Lambert garage and go speak to them and find out from them about the history of some of the cars. It's just amazing. And it's not just about the racing when you come to Killarney. You walk around and you see these cars lined up and ready to go. Some of them are parked, some of them are in other series. So if you are thinking of coming through to Killarney today, it's not just about racing. Come have a look and see what's parked in those garages.
And you know, they kind of pull on your heartstrings, the older cars. Just this morning I was actually reading a bit of an article about the extra Bean Schmidt Motorplan BMW. That's actually, that chassis is now competing in the BMW Gauteng Cup.
Wow.
That exact chassis. So the heritage of those cars, a lot of the cars do go to New Zealand and Australia. We've lost the Camrys, we've lost a couple of the other BMWs. They've all moved over to New Zealand. But the good thing is that those cars are still running.
Yes.
And those cars that are in Cape Town, really, guys, if you've got those cars and they're sitting in the garage, a couple of the Skylines of those old cars, bring it out.
Yeah, Kerry Blows at the last event. I know he's traveling at the moment as far as I know. I didn't see his name on the entry list, but Kerry Blows has got two of his cars. He's got the Golden Grove Datsun. Yeah. And he's got the Henny van der Linde.
I think he's competing today in one of the cars.
Oh, is he? Okay, I didn't see his name on the list. I need to go pop over there and say, how's it?
Definitely.
But some interesting cars here as we see Keanu Strode in top position.
Datsun 240Z.
Okay, so he's there with the Golden Grove car. I need to go over there and have a chat with him then. Well, later on during the day, we got, as I said, the Club GTI Challenge. After that will be Formula Libre, Classic Cars, Pirelli V8s. And lastly, just before the lunch break, will be the Thermo Fires Clubman Saloon. Yeah. And then in lunch break, Master Drive guys, my cronies from Master Drive will be going around and taking the Smile 90.4 people around.
So good.
And it just shows you, like, our sponsors are starting to come to the party. Smile 90.4 here, Master Drive here. Of course, Wingfield Motors.
Ever present.
Ever present.
Come
and just
on.
Making sure that these days happen. So today is proudly presented by Wingfield Motors. This, of course, the Power Series at Killarney Raceway. Welcome if you've just joined us. Round 3 as we head into the first last few minutes of qualifying, ladies and gentlemen. You can see the results over here next to Dexter over there.
They are, yeah.
So those results over there are the qualifying results. And we'll be going, Piet van der Walt does it, we'll be going into the racing as Ewart Koets gets first place there with a 1 minute 19 in qualifying. Only the bikes qualifying today, and we're going to be going straight into racing very, very shortly.
So the bikes are out now. They're doing their last qualifying. On my right-hand side, I've got a couple of the cars lined up in the pre-race paddock, and they're going to be going out to do their race 1. But heading back down to the list, the Formula Libre cars, DJ Boyce and Byron Mitchell, right up there in the front. Of course, with that single-seaters, you cannot miss them. They are always up there. Kelly Fletcher down at the bottom. Very reliable car as well. And I think the Formula Libre has actually gone up a little bit. They started off with 8 to 9 or 10 late last year. They're moving up quite nicely. They've had a good year.
They got one of the best years they've ever had this year. And also, you can see also how well Formula 1600 in the Nationals is doing as well. The feeder series are growing because the National Series are also finding success. So we've got another situation here where fields are growing, and hopefully they will continue to grow. We need your support, of course, to come watch the guys. And if you've got a car parked, they don't come and race it as well.
Bring it in. I mean, the sponsors are getting involved, the races are getting involved. It's now for the spectators' time to come back and them to give their thing.
Jaco Oosthuizen over there.
What a nice story, eh?
What a nice story. So Jaco Oosthuizen, sorry if you don't know, his mother used to race his car, that car at the drag strip. She said she always wanted to get involved in racing. She was of a healthy age back then.
The Conquest.
Yes, the Conquest. And she said she's going to come to the circuit, wants to try this racing thing. did so, unfortunately passed away quite recently, and now Jaco converted that car into a fine car, and now he races at fine cars with that very same car. What a fantastic story.
It's literally like a relay race.
Yeah.
He's taking the baton over, he's doing the last leg, and I'm sure that he wants the next person to take over the next one as well. So it's really nice.
Well, there goes the car. Jaco Oosthuizen getting ready for action, and action is exactly what the fine car guys, the Peugeot Trust fine car guys are going to be providing today, as we see Joanne Fourie, Gunther Appelgren, and the Lambert car lining up ready for action with a 928 Porsche in the mix as well, the missile.
Mattia, a beautiful car.
It's a big car.
It's a very big
huge car.
That's, of course, the V8 Porsche, front engine V8. Jeremy Clarkson's favorite car, and because of that, I think because of his father, there was something to do with his father.
Yeah.
One of his favorite all-time cars. But heading back to the supercars, we mentioned it earlier, the supercars are going to be partnering, of course, with these guys out here, and they're about to do their race number 1. Yeah, Yassine Damon in the Opel supercar. Craig Hume, I think he steps up in the 43, which was the ex-Zak.
And Zak Groenewald came for his first race of the last one, got a win, and I mean was doing fantastically well, and now he's not yet today, so that should be interesting. At least it shuffles up the grid a little bit.
The thing about Zak is he can get into anything and he'll be quick.
Is fast.
So, I mean, he's not here today, but I'm sure he'll be in the next one.
He'll be somewhere.
He'll be somewhere. Absolutely.
He'll be somewhere. If I see him leaving, I often see him by his garage over there, and there's always something loaded on the trailer.
And his garage is always half closed because like, he doesn't want people to know what he's working on.
There's always something loaded on the back of his trailer, whether it's a bike, whether it's a fine car, whether it's a whatever. So Zak Groenewald will be back, I'm sure, and he'll be fast.
Definitely. And I think he's joining us actually for Rallycross on the 15th. So I think he's busy building a Rallycross car.
Surprises there. I look forward to seeing him on circuit.
Andrew Moffat, of course. Glenn Phillips is there. And then Karel van der Merwe, Ryan van Wyk, and then of course Michael Nel wraps up the bottom part of the Opel Supercars. I think the Opel Supercars with the Peugeot Classics makes about a full field. It nearest makes about 20 odd cars in that field.
Yeah. And that's exactly what you want. You want to have fuller fields, and that's why they're combining these guys now. As the silence descends on the circuit. We just heard the bikes now shutting down those engines. They're coming around for their last lap. So I think we are minutes away from starting, Dexter, as the rest of the fine cars come. Someone just pulled in with their louder classic car there.
The CRX, yeah.
That's the CRX. That gentleman drives his car to the circuit from Somerset West.
Somerset West, yeah, I think so. Wow. And I think that's what it's about, eh? That's how GTI Challenge started back in the day. You drive your car to the circuit, you race your car, you drive it back home again.
Yeah.
And I think to do that in 2023, it's
not easy.
Commendable.
It's commendable. I spoke to Justin Bennett, one of the original GTI Challenge guys this week, and he was telling me that was his road car that he drove to work, and then he drove it to the circuit on the weekend, and then obviously it got out of control, and then next thing you know, it's a full race car.
Absolutely.
But back in the day, that's how GTI Challenge started. The guys would use their daily drivers to come race here, and it laid the template for many of these series at the moment, including the fine cars and the classic cars.
They're not the most comfortable cars to drive around the road. You know, driving a car with a hard suspension over bumps in Cape Town roads.
No.
You know?
Look, at least we don't have the potholes that they have in Joburg, but
those aren't potholes. Those are
sorry, dongas. Well, looks like there we go. We now supercars and fine cars. The list has come on our screen, so we're going to be handing it over shortly to our commentators upstairs. As you can see on screen over there, Roger Lewis, Tischendorf, Mattia, Yassine Damon, and these guys are all mixed up at the moment. They'll set themselves apart ever so shortly, but yeah, some interesting racing. It's going to be very interesting when you mix these cars up. They won't be tussling with each other though. I think there's quite a speed difference between them.
Speed difference between two. I think the Opel supercars will definitely be in the front, and then the rest of the guys will be at the back. But of course, there's a race within a race, and that's what's beautiful. There's constant battles from all the way to the front, all the way to the back, and they're just about to leave now. 80 Rand a ticket gets you in if you come to the gate, 60 Rand on Ticketmaster. What else can I see at Killarney if I come here? Is there food?
Exactly. There's plenty food.
Come on.
And the nice thing is the coffee stand over here now takes cards. So I am going to grab another one after this. I said, Wayne, how's it going? Wayne looking as healthy as ever in his race suit, his bike race suit. We've got the marshals out here as well. Of course, a special thank you to the marshals for joining us today and making sure that keeping everybody safe. The officials over there in the tower. But all of this you can see for yourself if you come through to Killarney Raceway. I see my voices coming out over the PA system now, which means we're about to hand it over to our commentators. But ladies and gentlemen, it is Killarney Raceway. This is the Power Series. Welcome to round 3 of the Power Series. My name is Ernest Page, joined by Dexter Bruce, and this is some of the best local racing you can see at the circuit. Dexter, it's almost time to get going.
Let's go racing.
Let's go racing, ladies and gentlemen. Just a couple more minutes as we wait for the all clear from the guys on top. As you can see over there, the live timing is running. You can check out the live timing as well on zatiming.co.za. Go check that out, zatiming.co.za. And of course, this is the IMUSAT.
Yeah.
Let's see, can you pull it? I was hoping to complete that wheelie in front of us. You've got a random cyclist doing a wheelie over here. There we go. There we go. There we go.
There we go.
There we go. Well done.
In the full Power Ranger gear, of course you can. And of course the cars that's not out today, of course, is the sport cars and the GTs.
Yeah.
Harp Motorsport.
Appelgrein.
Harp Motorsport and the guys, unfortunately, they're not out. They miss out today.
Those are some of the bigger boys.
Those are some of the bigger boys. And it's actually nice getting familiar with those cars now, understanding how they work and how quick they are, doing 109s, 110s. I mean, this other stuff you can see out as well is we've got Robbie Roberts. He's one of the live music entertainment. So we've got live music entertainment.
Wow.
We've got food. We've got a whole host.
There's some display stands there as well. Some classic cars displays, some car displays, some bike displays. So there's so much happening over here. If you can come through, make your way through. We've just got the all clear that the commentators are ready to go. As mentioned again, Ernest Page, Dexter Bruce. We'll see you guys at lunchtime. Enjoy the racing. Power Series Round 3 continues now.